What red flags in a relationship do you wish you hadn't ignored? Lies about small things. I have the feeling that many people underestimate this. I grew up with an abusive, manipulative mother, and she lied often about unimportant, small details too. And I never met anyone else who lied about small things and was a normal, mentally stable person. An inability to empathize with other people or take accountability for his own actions. It was everyone else's fault but his, that he cheated on his ex before me for 6 months. When he'd say, "I won't do it again, I'm sorry," but continues to do it. Yes. Insincere, shallow apologies in general with no real understanding of what they did to someone else and what their plan is to avoid repeating it in the future. It's just manipulation. Sorry doesn't mean I feel bad I hurt you. It means I'll do what's realistically possible to make sure the thing that hurts you doesn't happen again. When his own grandma told me I deserved better, I thought she was just joking around. OMG. At least she didn't defend him like most do. When she said a married man hitting on her wouldn't be rejected, why should I miss out just 'cause he's married? Always came up with excuses when trying to spend time together, rather than come up with solutions. But then gaslit me every time I questioned whether they actually wanted to be in a relationship. Oh, I should have ran when I heard my ex's reaction to a sad story. I was one day telling my ex about a family friend whose son, 30, married, good life, and was in the middle of getting a PhD, had a heart attack, lost oxygen to his brain, and became mentally and physically handicapped. Shitty American health insurance hardly covered his treatments, and he was left with needing expensive therapies, hospital stays, and medications. Of course, the community came together to fundraise the money for them. Well, since his wife was still married to him, this fundraised money was also technically her money. One night, she took it all and ran. There was nothing that could be done. My ex's reaction, well, that was her right to do so. What's the problem? It's not illegal? He ended up being so nasty to me, and that right there should have been my reason to leave. Huge red flag that I ignored. Excuses. Just constant excuses. Disrespecting my needs, time. Insisting that I attend his hobbies, activities, family events, but refusing to attend any of mine. Inability to compromise. His incandescent rage whenever his favorite sports team lost a game. Love bombing. My very friendly cat didn't like him. I should have taken that as a sign. When they pinned me down when we were making out, I thought they were playing around until I saw something weird in their eyes. When I tried to get out of the grip, he only held on tighter. It was a moment I realized something was up. I had to straight up ask him to let me go, and he finally snapped out of whatever gaze he was in. That's terrifying. I'm glad you're okay, right? Yes, but it took some years to get over the fear. The relationship was abusive, and even when I left, the guy stalked me for a good year. I thought he was going to kill me at some point. They agree with you on everything. It's a red flag that they are avoiding conflict even on small things. Every date we had revolved around alcohol. I thought it was no big deal because he could hold his alcohol well. It became a big deal. Never date someone in active addiction. Nothing was ever his fault. It was because other people were stupid. Yeah, and nobody understands, right? Just because nobody agrees with you, it doesn't mean nobody understands. The fact that all of her exes were horrible people who had done horrible things to her, and she was always just the victim. There were a bunch of other red flags, but when I ran into a guy I worked with while her and I were walking into a store and she freaked out about me knowing him, he was one of her exes who she had shit-talked, but only referred to him by his first name. I had to question all her stories. This guy was one of the most stand-up people I'd ever met. Turns out she was batshit insane. Also accused me of having sex with her dog because she had a dream about it. Definitely don't ignore that. A bloke I dated when I was 19 sent me an invoice for a small fries which he paid for when I left my wallet at home. Note that I'd shouted him to a ski trip previously. So yeah, being a tight arse is a red flag. When he still keep pictures of his exes and show it off to me. Ex throwing and breaking things when he was angry over trite shit. Ignored it because it was directed at objects and I've thrown things in anger before. However, after we married, he started throwing things at me and wouldn't stop after I warned him multiple times that behavior was a deal breaker, and the things he broke were always my things. I left him. He was stunned. When I first met my husband, I would watch him work on a vehicle. If there was a problem, he would throw a fit and throw tools, and he would be in a bad mood. Years later, he does the same, but the anger he has seeped into other areas of life because he has never dealt with whatever issues have caused that anger. To live with someone like this becomes walking on eggshells to please him because he is critical and has high expectations and is so easily irritated. It is very draining and steals any life and fun out of life. I have always been the one to try to lighten the mood and laugh and play. I would tell anyone that if you see anger run very far away, that is something they need to fix and deal with. You will not change that person. They have got to want to change, and if they don't, then you're in for a crappy married life with rare moments of good times. After 26 years and becoming a shell of myself living with this person, I felt that I was drowning. The divorce will be final soon. White lies, not just to me but to everyone. Turns out, if they're comfortable telling little lies, they're comfortable telling big ones. Me being uncomfortable. I should never be uncomfortable. All of this. Arguing to win instead of making a real point is the quickest way to lose my interest. Relationships can be complicated, and it's not always easy to spot the warning signs when you're in the middle of it. If you've ever ignored a red flag, know that you're not alone. So many people have been there, and it's never too late to learn and grow. If you feel comfortable, share your own experience in the comments.